Hi everyone, it's Donna here from Homesteading with the Blind Knitter. I hope you're all well. It's a wintry day here today. We're in the middle of winter and I've just taken Kenzie, my guide dog, for a walk and it's pretty chilly, so I'm pleased I've got wool on. Welcome to, I've got a lot of new subscribers and I would like to welcome you to my podcast. Hopefully you'll gain a lot from it. I do knitting, sewing, crafts, homesteading, and mental wellness. I'm a registered social worker with a degree in psychology, so I really like to share the love about, taking care of your mental wellness. So I do like to add some of that in as well. We're in my office today, or in the education room in my office today. My workspace, I suppose, where I spend a lot of my time, and I've got some knitting to show you. I want to talk about the Kiwi Mal that is going on. I have been doing some sewing and I'll put some photos in the back at the end of this podcast, and when I get home tonight I'll hopefully show you because I'll show you what I've been sewing and talk about what I've been knitting. So I've just come back from Australia. I had a wonderful time over there with my grandson. I took my 11-year-old grandson and he was such a trooper. He really did cope beautifully, especially with a blind nana. So for your new people that have joined, I'm legally blind. I have just a tiny piece of sight. It's called retinitis pigmentosa, and I have a guide dog, Kenzie, who's asleep somewhere. You might hear her snoring at some stage. So life can be pretty hard, but I get through. Everybody's pushing a wheelbarrow, and some of them get heavy at times, and we just keep pushing through. So the Kiwi Mal, and I think that's probably how I've got some lovely new subscribers, because of the Kiwi Mal. So one of our lovely podcasters in New Zealand, Marina from Strawberry Patches, pulled together 9 of us podcasters and said, how about we do a Mal where we promote New Zealand wool and New Zealand patterns? And we all thought, what a great idea. So there's a prize. The end date of this competition is the 30th of August, and so the rules are that it needs to either be a Kiwi pattern, a Kiwi designer, or a Kiwi yarn. Double bonus if it's both, if you get a Kiwi designer and a yarn. And so there is some prizes at the end of this 30th of August. So you've still got plenty of time. It did start back in early July, but it might have even been June, but you've still got plenty of time to knit something. So I'll show you my first knit, the one that I am doing as part of this Mal. I've had some challenge with this. I started knitting it, got about 3/4 of the way through. It's for my great grandson. No, stop it. I know I'm way too young to have a great grandson, but I do. I'm blessed with a lovely, 2 great grandsons, one step granddaughter and a great grandson. And so I don't see my step great daughter very often, but I do see my Cade, my little one, quite a bit. And so I thought, well, I'll knit him a cardigan because his mum loves wool. He's always in wool and wears wool hats and wool, which we like to promote, don't we, as knitters and mums, etc. So I like to encourage. So I thought I'd knit our wee little man a cardigan, and so I got most of it done, and I held it up one night. And I said to Mr. Farmer, what do you think? And he said, that's not going to touch him. So I had a look at it and he was right. It just was way too small. And so when I look back on my pattern, what I had done is I had, rookie mistake. I've been knitting for 50 odd years. I didn't look at the tension, and so the tension was only 15 stitches and I was doing 24, so hence the problem. So unpicked it and started again. So this is where I'm up to. Now I think I've got too big a gauge, but better too big than too small. So this is where I'm up to. It is a sort of a granddad cardigan with a shawl collar. Oh, and I didn't get the name for you. Grumpy cardigan, I think it's called. It's with a shawl collar and a double-breasted front, sort of what you'd imagine a grandfather, and I just loved the idea of doing it. So I'm doing it because of the Mal, Kiwi Mal, I'm doing it in a New Zealand wool, and this is by Wild Earth Yarns, and it is called Eden, and I have crocheted something in it recently as well, so I'll show you that. That's the ball, and where's the hank? This is the blind thing. The hank's gone. Oh, that's down there. Oh, there it is. That's because you can see I've had to roll it all back when I knit the first time, but it's a beautiful, it's coming across as a weird purple. It's not purple at all, it's a teal, quite a dark sort of teal. Yeah, so I'm enjoying knitting that, although I had to unpick it. Thankfully it wasn't an adult's cardigan. I do wonder whether I've got too big a tension now, but he's not going to complain, is he? As long as it fits and he can grow into it. So that is 100% Polworth, the Eden. It's like, it feels like, it kind of feels rustic when you go like this, but when you hold it, it feels like velvet. It's got this beautiful sort of buttery velvet feel about it, and so it's beautiful, beautiful wool. I really am enjoying doing that. So that's my Kiwi Mal. So get your needles ready to start knitting if you haven't already started, and either you promote a New Zealand designer and or a New Zealand wool supplier or dyer. I've got another one that I want to cast on, which is Spud Rose. I was going to pause it and find it, but hey ho, this is the blind thing. You have to forgive me for this. You're just going to get what you're going to get. So that's Kate's wee cardigan. That's that one. This is one that I've been working on consistently recently, and I've just about finished, and it's crocheted. So it is a crocheted, it's a 6, what you do is you crochet, start under the arm, and you do a 6-point, like a granny square, but with 6 points rather than 4, and you just keep going and going and going until you get to a certain size, and then when the size you want is done, and then if you need to add some, so there's the sleeve, and I did add some to it. I love my colours, and so then you do the other side exactly the same. Start under the arm with the 6-point granny square, big grow, and then you connect it down the middle, down the back, and yeah, so I've really enjoyed doing this. It's quite heavy, and I've knit this in the Eden again, so that is, again, the colours are not showing up very well, but yeah, it's all sort of country cottage colours of sage and a rose pink and gold, and yeah, beautiful colours. Really loving it. So I got it all ready to try on, and I thought, it's just something not quite right about it. I thought, well, I'll take it, I'll wear it for the, you know how sometimes you have to wear something before you really feel it? So I wore it for the day, and wore it to my knitting group and said, you know, here's my cardie, and asked what they thought, and they came up with some suggestions, and certainly, yeah, I can see what I need to do. I just had to wear it to try and work out what I needed to do because I haven't got a pattern, I'm just making it up basically. What I'll do is I'll slip it on. Oh, before I slip it on, I'll tell you what I'm wearing. So this is a cardigan I knit a billion years ago, probably, gosh, at least 30 years ago, it's a cabled cardigan. It's good old-fashioned shepherd pattern, if anyone out there knitted years ago, and it's knit with a homespun, natural wool that you used to buy in a hank. I think you can still buy them, with full of cables, and it's a bomber size, so it sits on my waist. And as I say, I've had it for about 30 years. I just take care of it, and it's been a lovely cardigan. And yeah, but I'm a bit hot actually, so but what I want to do is show you my crochet top and see what you think of this, and see what you think needs to happen. So here we go. There we go. So it is, I didn't expect the sleeves to be as big as they are. I thought they'd be not as belled, but I'll get used to those. That's just, you know how you kind of think something's going to look different, and when you get it on you go, oh, didn't expect that. So that's the sleeves. It's almost like a kimono style, isn't it? And that's, I like the fit around there is very nice, and I like the length. It's just on the bottom of my hip. This is the problem. So up here, so I couldn't work out what to do up here. So I think what I need to do is make that smaller and do another couple of rows to bring that in, because it's very, very big. You probably can't see it with the collar of my dress. It's too big across there and across there, across there. So I'm going to bring that in and do a couple more rows to tighten that up. I also think it would look really nice with a leather buckle across here. So you know those ones that you kind of see on satchels where you have a leather piece here and a leather piece here with a buckle. I think that would look quite nice there. It would suit the style, being crocheted, being sort of heavy, jackety type. So, and that again is in 100% Polworth from Wild Earths. I'm sweating because it's hot in here. Called Eden. And yeah, I love it. But it's not finished yet. There's still work to be done. I'm going to take that off, because otherwise I'm going to swelter. It's very heavy, I have to say. That Polworth is lovely. And I think that'll look quite nice with jeans and a white t-shirt. Something simple underneath, because it's, you know, a bit technicoloured. Joseph's technicoloured things. So that is not quite a finish, but I'll call it a finish, because it is just the touching, you know, the final touches that I need to do on that. So I'm just going to work consistently on little great-grandson's cardigan, and that won't take long at all. I think I did from the underarm to the bottom in half a day, a couple of hours. So excuse me, so that's not going to take too long at all. Then I want to cast on some wool from Rosebud, Rosemary, who provides through Rosebud, and she has dyed some natural, she does with natural, God, I'm falling over my words, so sorry, natural things to dye her wool with. So for example, avocado, etc. So I have got one dyed with madder, and I've got it on me. I have. So I've got 4 different colours ranging from burgundy. I think I showed these in the last podcast. And then I've asked her to do a mohair. So I'm going to do an ombre cardigan. I think cardigan, because I get hot, and mohair is going to be hot. So that's going to be my next cast on once I've done the great-grandsons. That is all my knitting. Yes, so hope you're doing well with your competition. I'll put at the end of this podcast the list of podcasters who are involved, so that you can go and visit them as well. I did pull it up on my phone, but because of my sight I had trouble reading it, so I can't do that. So you're going to have to look yourself, investigate yourself, but I will put it at the end of this so that you can have a look and see the other podcasters and go and visit them and support New Zealand podcasters as well. That would be a lovely idea, because you know we all enjoy doing this, and you will, I mean, I know that I love watching podcasts, so yeah, you're wondering why I'm playing with this. As I said, I've just been to Australia, and I've been thinking about what I can do for sewing class. We've got this little sewing group that's been running, and it's been just lovely. But also there's 2 young girls in it, and I thought, sometimes young youth want to do something that's quick and has a quick finish. So I've been kind of investigating all these craft things that I used to do years ago. I used to be a real avid crafter. I used to make everything and anything. I just made in crafts. And these 2 girls have got the ability to make something out of something else. So they'll get something from the op shop and they'll bring it and they'll say, I'm going to make so-and-so out of this. So 2 examples are, one was a man's shirt, a beautiful cotton man's shirt, and she brought it in and made it into a beautiful young girl's blouse with short sleeves and darts and little bows on the arms. Just creativity. And the other young girl had brought in a dress that she used to wear that she didn't like. It was a bit frumpy. It was plain black. And at the op shop, she found this lace top that is too big for her, but she liked the sleeves. So she's cut the sleeves off and put them on her black dress. All that creativity. Oh gosh, dear Barbie. So I was over in Aussie with my other grandchildren that live in Australia, and I was playing Barbies with my 6-year-old, as you do, and I just was looking at all their clothes. She had a lot of Barbies, and I kept looking at their clothes and going, oh, that's, I had a dress like that, and oh, that little dress would look lovely with a little belt on it, or, oh, that's a pretty dress. I don't know why they put that on there though. So it really made me start thinking about how that creativity was built. And this is my first Barbie. This Barbie is 55 years old. She doesn't look it, eh? So she doesn't look 55. Her hair does, it feels 55, I can tell you, that real nylon. But this was my loved Barbie doll. And I think this is where my first creativity sort of came from, was having a Barbie. And I used to cut out little bits of scrap material and make little dresses for her and sew them. And I mean, I've just noticed now I've made a head tie out of a piece of fabric. This dress came with her, so that's not one that I've made. But that's kind of where I started all my creativity, is on my Barbie dolls. And that made me start thinking about these 2 young women and how their creativity is coming out of them. And aren't we blessed that we can really express ourselves through creativity, through garments that we can wear or give away as gifts, or just enjoy. So, I think we're really blessed to be able to do that. So I wanted to bring my Barbie along just to talk about creativity. So that's the knitting part of the podcast. I usually talk a little bit about mental health, and what I wanted to talk about was when I took my 11-year-old over to Australia. He'd never been before. He'd never flown. He'd never, obviously never been to a major city like Sydney. We went to Sydney, and so he was absolutely scared, senseless. So what we talked about when I said, would you like to come, is you're going to be really scared, but if you feel the fear and do it anyway, which is the title of a book, you'll really enjoy yourself. And so what we tried to do was focus on the things that he was really going to enjoy, that he wouldn't be scared at, like saying to him that there was amazing beach that he could spend time at, and he could see pelicans and all of those things, rather than keep talking about the airplane ride, which was really frightening him. He kept saying, I don't like heights and all of those sorts of things. And so we tried to not focus on that and focus on what he was going to enjoy there. And so I was thinking about how he managed that, and how we can take that as something for us to remember. And I certainly remembered, because I was so proud of him. He was so scared, going, first of all, leaving mum for a week, which he'd never done. Oh no, I suppose he had at camp, but mum was still around at scout camp. So he got, you know, I could see his body language. I could see him really scared, and, you know, he was like doing this and really scared. And then I could see him going, right. And he'd straighten himself up and he'd pull himself together and he would do it. And, you know, and he'd be walking quite confidently, and I was so proud of him because I knew he was really scared inside. And you know, it was such an experience for him to grow from. And I think that we often don't push ourselves out of our boundaries. We stay in these nice little safe environments, and we don't sort of stretch ourselves and, you know, sort of take a deep breath and go, okay, I'm just going to do this and see how I get on. And there's such a real pleasure and enjoyment and satisfaction when you've done that. One of the situations we had was, I'm itchy from that dust off the doll. I think I'm allergic to dust, and that doll's got dust on it, so sorry for scratching myself. She'll have to have a bath. I'm a bit scared to wash her. Is one of the situations we got into, which was quite a challenge really, as because I'm blind, at night I'm totally blind, so I get night blindness so during the day I can see little bits, but during night I'm absolutely blind. And so we decided to go, my son and grandson, into Sydney and spend the night in Sydney so that we could catch an early flight home and spend some time in Sydney and take him on the, you know, the little boats, the ferries to go round from Circular Quay to Darling Harbour. And so we got on at Darling Harbour and we went round to Circular Quay, and my son was going to leave us at Circular Quay. He was going to go back, catch the train home, and we were going to take the ferry back round to Darling Harbour where our motel was. Well, when we got to Circular Quay, that was the end of the runs for those ferries. So I'm going, oh, okay. So we got out of and it was 5 o'clock, and it was dark, and it was just people. You know, you were just walking like this with people everywhere, and I was holding on to braids really tightly because I thought, gosh, if I lose him, his mother's going to shoot me. And I said to him, you know, we're fine, we're okay. We've just got to walk straight to the main street and look for a taxi. And, you know, again, I could see him straighten up, and he just, you know, took control, and I said, just walk absolutely straight that way, and that's where the main street is, okay? And he did, and I held on to him, and I said, can you see a taxi? And he looked that way, and he looked that way, and he says, yes, there's a taxi down there. I said, right, we're heading that way. So we headed down that way and got a taxi. So, you know, just push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit, you know, just a little bit, and the satisfaction and it'll be well worth it. So for your mental well-being, that's my little talk on mental well-being. I'm going to have to go now because I've got a client. So I don't know if I said to my new people, I am a social worker, registered social worker with a degree in psychology, and so I do some counselling and some parenting courses and workshops and things like that. So this is the room I do it in. I'll turn you around so you can have a nosy. So that's the room I do it in, with the couches and the chairs and the TV, and this is where we have our sewing group as well. And yeah, so I've got some work to do, so I'm going to go. I will catch up with you uno momento. It'll be a long time for me, but it'll be instant for you, and I will show you my sewing. So bye for now. Last part of the video, just going to show you a little bit of my sewing that I've been doing. I have been making, or have started making, little heavy weights that you can put on your pattern pieces while you cut them around, so that, because I use baked bean tins, so I thought I'd make myself some of these. So it's just a triangle, and you fill it with rice, and it makes a great little weight, and you have 5 or 6 of them, and you put them around. So what you do is you have a 8-inch triangle like so. I've cut all these out ready to go, and one of the sides you fold it in half, and sew along there, and then you open it up and pull another corner along. It's a bit hard to show you on here, but it's super easy. Sew that one, and that one you sew a little bit and leave an opening so that you can pull it through. So it's super easy. It's sewing three lines, 3 rows, and filling it with rice, and either hand sewing or sewing by machine. I'd probably hand sew the end. So that was number 1, my wee make of the week. I've just made little things just for fun. The other little thing I've made is this. I haven't got my drink bottle here to show you, but I'll put it on. So it's a drink bottle carrier. So you put your drink bottle in there and you can walk around with your drink bottle. So if I go for a walk or anything like that, I can take my drink bottle with me. And I've used the leftover bit of padded quilted material that I made my quilted jacket out of. It's just some scraps, so it cost me nothing, and it's got a wee round bottom on it. I didn't use a pattern, I just cut a circle and then sewed it round, and I used the binding that was on the edge of the quilt, so I didn't even have to bind it, and just whipped up the strap. Super easy. So it's one of those things you don't know if you need it till you see it and you think you need it. So whether I use it or not, I don't know, but I'll hang it in my office, and when I go for a walk and I need to take my drink bottle with me, I know I can do that. So that was the 2 little makes during the week that I just ticky-toed around and had a bit of fun with. The other thing that I was going to talk about was Vicky, my friend from knitting, gave me one of these blanket bags. It's what you get when you buy a quilt or a blanket. You can pick them up at op shops for nothing. And I'm going to use this to cover my overlocker, so it'll sit over my overlocker like that, upside down, so that the zip's on the bottom. So it'll sit over my overlocker. I used to do it with my old overlocker, and so I've got a new one that needed a bigger one. And they stop the dust, and they don't overwhelm you in the room with too much colour and fabric, so being clear, it helps that it doesn't overwhelm you, because my room is, I'll give you a squiz before as I go. So that's what I've been working on, really. I've got a pattern ready to cut out to make a pinafore and another one for a dress, and I'll talk about those another day. And yeah, that's been it. I'll give you a little squiz around the room, but you take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Oh, it's not going to work, is it? There. Right. That's the ironing board with all my jobs on. And my sewing machine. Yes, it's all very overwhelmed and needs sorting. And my view. What a stunning day. Bye.